Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy Graham, and I am the president and founder of True Purpose Ministries, and we are so glad to have you on another True Purpose podcast. Today, we have my spiritual son, or one of my spiritual sons, but he's a great man of God that I love dearly. He is our intake coordinator. He is from Long Beach, California. Amen.
Whoop, whoop.
He's lived. I'm sure you watched his other podcasts. He was one of the first ones. He actually has a lot of views. So if you would like to know more about Carlos, please go back, thumb through the channel. He's near the top. I think he's within like the top 5. I think he's within the first 5. But go and check out his story. But of course, coming from California and he was a Marine and had a long drug and alcohol lifestyle. But of course, he came through the program and came through our clinical program actually. And was my house director up in Indiana, and then of course came down here, and now he is my house director. He is my intake coordinator, and he is just a jack of all trades. So Carlos, man, it's good to have you.
It's good to be here, PJ. Thank you for having me.
Amen. All right, today what we want to talk about is the intake process. A lot of people don't really know that there are grants out there to be able to get into our clinical program. That's one aspect that we want to talk about today. But of course, as I've stated earlier in a lot of the other podcasts, if you ever want to get on or get into True Purpose Ministries, of course, please just go to our website. And when you click that button and fill out that application, what it does is it sends it straight to Carlos, and so Carlos will be the one calling you. But a lot of us, what I really want to let everybody know today is that we have a state licensed clinical program within our year-long discipleship program. It is 90 days in length, and I know about treatment plans, and we know about IOP and all that kind of stuff. Basically, that's what it is. It's an IOP program that we really don't put limits on. We just allow the individual to go through that program, and usually it's 90 days in length, and that's the first 90 days, and then after that 90 days you get to go out and get a job. Yeah. And so during that process, though, a lot of people can't pay for the clinical grant or the clinical program because either they don't have insurance or they're not able to raise the funds to be able to get into that program. So we have certain grants that the judicial system gives if you're on probation or if you're coming out of jail, if you're court ordered. So Carlos, if you don't mind, I want to kind of ask you about those grants, and if you don't mind, just tell us kind of about those grants and how you're able to get those grants and the best way to go about that, because I know that probation officers also, if you're watching, it's going to really help you as well to get that client in that you really want to get help.
Yes, sir. So like one of the best things about coming in the program is that I get an opportunity to work with Blount County's probation department.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly developing a good relationship with probation officers.
Yeah.
And the first step to get a grant that way is it's known as a spot grant. A spot grant is a judicial grant that's ordered by the judge when a person wants to be court ordered in their treatment.
Okay, so if you're a family member and you have a loved one incarcerated or has got a court date coming up, and they are wanting clinical treatment, our state license program, then basically what they would need to do is they would need to talk to their lawyer there or their court-appointed lawyer and ask for a spot grant to get into our clinical program.
Yes, sir. So the very first step would be the initial interview.
Yep.
And then they let the attorney know that they're trying to come into a year-long faith-based recovery program. Yeah. And then the judge at that time would issue them that spot grant.
Okay.
Now we also have another option, which is a CTC grant.
Okay.
And those are for individuals who are on state probation or state parole. Mm-hmm. They have to have a couple of arrests in regards to drug and alcohol. Okay. And that's one thing I love about the great state of Tennessee is that this state really does try to help people get back on their feet. It's not just the Department of Corrections. They actually do help correct behavior.
All right. So in the CTC grant, if somebody is on state probation, what do they do? Do they talk to the probation officer and ask to meet with a
Yes, sir. With that type of grant, the probation officer is the one that actually starts off the process. Okay. Then they would need to schedule an appointment with a forensic social worker. They're met. They do a initial assessment, and then at that time, that's when the CTC grant would be awarded.
Okay. All right. Good deal. What's the other one?
The SPOT grant.
No, we talked about the SPOT. Oh, yeah, SPOT, CTC, and then there's a ADAT.
Yes, sir. The ADAP is for our discipleship program.
No, that's the ADAT is the one. I think the one I'm thinking about is the ADAT. Yeah, the ADAT program is the ones who have been they've had a DUI or 2 DUIs in the past, I believe. Sir. So if you've had 2 DUIs in the past, you may qualify for what they call an ADAT. That's ADAT grant, and that of course will pay for your clinical treatment as well, because again they're trying to stop the DUIs and the recidivism. Yeah. So that's also a good thing. Now, how do you go about getting ADAT? Is that probation or is that court? That's
probation okay. And the courts.
Okay, all right.
There's just a lot of good options. There's help available for people who want the help.
Amen.
The state will really try to help you out, and if you're willing to do the work, there's resources.
Great. Here pretty soon, I've talked to my clinical director, and I want her to be able to come on to the show and really talk about the clinical program. I know that you saw earlier we had Jason Andrews and a number of others, and we talked about our clinical program there, but I really want to talk to Heather, because Heather will be able to come in and really talk about her techniques. She's very gifted in trauma and trauma-informed therapy. And, that's just one thing I love about our program. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, I would really estimate that high 80s to 90% of our individuals that come into True Purpose Ministries has had some sort of trauma in their background. And so what a lot of people do not know how to do is deal with that trauma in a healthy way. And it's a lot like the pink elephant in the room. Every room you go into, there is a pink elephant there, because of that trauma, and that's what it does. But what we've got to learn to do is to be able to put that pink elephant into a right compartment, to where, yes, it happened, we understand it happened, but we can deal with it in a healthy way, and we don't have to have drugs and alcohol to deal with it. And so, again, that's why the clinical program is so strong, in my opinion. In my opinion, too, with the clinical program, it's like the discipleship program times 2. It's like 2.0. You get a lot more classes. The discipleship program, counseling. We have a good many classes, but clinical program, it's you get almost double the classes.
You do. You really do. It's not to put it loosely, but you get more bang for your buck, and we're seeing a lot of success with our clinical program.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's more classes.
Yeah.
You have the house counselor, you have Miss Heather, you have the other staff here.
Yeah.
They're just surrounded by support.
Sure. And I tell you, we offer all kinds of techniques here with the clinical program. We are just about to start offering MRT, which is it's a very big program within the judicial system. We also do CBT and, of course, trauma-informed therapy, relapse prevention. I mean, just all kinds. It's a very good program. And if you are wanting to get into the clinical program, Carlos, if you don't mind, as we're kind of wrapping up here, talk to us about that first initial process, what they need to do. Because, again, everybody needs to understand we have a program within the big program, discipleship program. A lot of people just looks at it as one program. It is, however, you need to specify whether or not you want clinical treatment, because if you want clinical treatment, then that kind of helps Carlos decide how he can get you into clinical treatment. So, Carlos, if you don't mind, just talk to us about that intake process.
Sure. So the very first step is to do that first initial phone call. Either you'll call us at 865-414-8224, and that'll ring you directly to me.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like a over the phone interview. I'm not trying to grill you. I don't need to know every single life experience you have. What I'm basically looking for is this person ready for the change? Is this person willing to do the work? Yeah. I tell the guys all the time, like, look, I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Yeah. Don't waste my time, and I won't waste yours. If you're ready and willing to do the work, then we'll help you. We'll come alongside you, and we'll help you achieve that goal. So the first process is to get demographics, name, date, social security, stuff like that. And then I find out, okay, like what is the outside problem? Like are you a meth user, alcohol, intravenous? Do you smoke it, snort it? How long have you been using it? Are you on probation? Are you on parole? And just kind of just filling you out. Now, it's a really good chance for me to kind of get to know you really, really quick. I wanna bring in people who would be a good fit for this program.
Yeah.
Because this is a family. This isn't just a program. Like, this is a family. Like, after a period of time, people start calling this place home.
You may ask, you may be out there and ask yourself, okay, who really wants to go to rehab? Probably not a whole lot of people just absolutely wants or desires to go to rehab. But you got to ask yourself, how many people out there want to get their life together? That's right. The real question.
Yeah.
Do you really want to get your life together? Do you really want to stop the cycle? Do you really want to be a husband to your wife? Do you really want to be a mother to your children? Do you want to be a father to your children?
Yeah.
Do you want to be that responsible citizen in society? That's what you got to ask yourself. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand it. I get it. Not a lot of people want to go to rehab and stay for a year. But the amount of people that are in our program right now, Carlos, that are so glad that they made that commitment and made that step, and literally they're getting everything back. They're going and paying cash for a vehicle. They're starting their own businesses. I mean, it's phenomenal to see what God is doing in their lives, and it all started with that one phone call.
Yes, sir.
So, Carlos, I really appreciate you, man. I love you, man. Appreciate what you do for us, and I tell you, we don't know what we'd do without you, brother. And
if you were honored.
Amen. Amen. If you want to get into the program, of course, Carlos is going to be the first one you talk to. But, of course, you can go to our website at truepurposeministries.com and, of course, hit all the tabs, the application process. We do have a tab there for clinical treatment, I think. If not, it'd be definitely Maryville.
We do. It's in the top part of the page.
Okay.
Our website is super.
It is. User-friendly.
Yeah, user-friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll be able to see it on there. You'll be able to get information about our program, and so click on that button, begin that application process, and then that goes straight to Carlos, and he'll be giving you a call. But once again, if he doesn't give you a call soon, you gave the intake number as well because he gets pretty busy, 865-414-8224. Yeah. But once again, we thank everybody for joining us today, and we hope to be able to help you get into our discipleship or our clinical program. Thank you, and God bless.
Guadalupe del Norte, Ignacio.